Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to have you back on the porch at the Farmhouse gathering. We've been talking about gardening, but today we're going to talk about what a simple life means to us. Everybody has different thoughts on a simple life, but for me, I like the intangibles. I like the things that you can see and smell and hear and taste. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but over here on my left, my neighbor is bush hogging his pasture. What comes across to me is the smell of fresh cut grass. Behind me, you see a bunch of color and flowers that I'm getting ready to plant. I love it, and the aroma is coming up, and I can smell that as well. What you can't see is what's behind the camera, and that is my pasture. I'm listening to the sounds of my cattle as they quietly talk to each other at night, but I'm also seeing the color changes from brilliant greens to yellow greens because the sun is setting in the west. It's beginning to change the colors of the sky. There is nothing more beautiful than the sky at night. I can also hear other things. The chorus of the night animals is getting started. The bass of the bullfrog, the crickets, the whippoorwill, the night birds, and yes, occasionally I hear my dogs barking and fussing at something, but it doesn't matter. I love it. And when I step in my house, I can smell the aroma of bread that's baking in the oven. I can smell the barbecue grill as the country boy cooks ribs. There is nothing better than walking out to my garden, plucking a fresh tomato and biting into it. All of that delicious acid goodness. Those are the things that I love about a simple life. Yeah, I've got other things of having the opportunity to live in a rural setting. We have a pond not too far from us down there. I love to go down there and listen to the fish jump and see how the sun plays on the water. I like the idea that I can take a walk. What I don't like is when I take a walk and I find a snake in the road, but that's okay. I love watching the cows, the baby calves especially, as they play in the fields. It is wonderful to see the chickens pecking the ground and wandering around and everything else. It's just such a calm, peaceful, relatively quiet life, but it's one that I will love. Everyone, like I said, has a different take on what a simple life means. Some of them like the fact that they can work from home. Some of them like the fact that they have a wonderful home to come home to after work. Some people live on acres, some people live in an apartment, but there is always an aspect of a simple life that they can enjoy no matter where they live. For instance, Annie, Kathi, and Shawna are all going to be here, and they're going to be able to tell you what they think about a simple life. It just is in the perspective, it's just in your point of view. But let's find out what they think about a simple life and their favorite parts.
What is a simple life? Of course, that's a matter of opinion, but here's what simple life means to me. A simple life is not easy. It involves hard work and huge sacrifices. A simple life means dirty hands, muddy boots, and clean clothes on the line. It's filled with work, but far from the busyness of modern society. To me, it means striving for self-reliance. Self-reliance means that you don't need much from outside sources. You strive to be independent from the craziness of modern life. It means cooking from scratch, growing, raising, and preserving your food. For me, a simple life is less expensive. You make your own cleaners, grow your own food, mend your own clothes. Things that you grow, raise, and make yourself usually cost less than what you can buy it for. You'll find that you spend less on non-essential things, and frivolous spending goes way down when you don't want much. To me, a simple life means growing your own food. Growing your own food grounds you and makes you realize the connection to the earth and the soil. You feel drawn to growing your food and providing your family. Usually, you'll decide that growing your own food is the best thing for your family, so you can eliminate food additives, herbicides, pesticides, that sort of thing. Just helps you strive for a healthier life. It also means less strain on the environment. If you need less from outside sources, the strain on the environment is lessened. Your food chain is shorter. You become more in tune with a healthy, toxin-free home. Usually you'll ditch the chemical-free or the chemical-laden cleaners and artificial ingredients. You might even use reusable commodities. To me, a simple life means happy kids. Kids thrive in a simple environment. They play outside. They're totally unaware of the turmoil that's going on in modern life. They get dirty, run around barefoot, and play in muddy ditch water. The kids have superb immune systems and learn the value of hard work. They learn to respect life and death. Simple kids are just happier. To me, a simple life also means less stress. There is so much less stress when you live a simple life. There's less competition. You don't need to keep up with the Joneses. It means you have lots of peace and quiet. It means you can sit on the porch in the evenings, sip a cup of tea, and listen to the crickets and the frogs. A simple life just doesn't have the constant hum of modern society. It leads to a lot less anxiety and stress. To me, a simple life means easy meals and a simple lifestyle. When I think of simple life, it's filled with simple, comforting meals. Steak and potatoes, chicken and dumplings, or a hearty chicken noodle soup. Home-baked bread in the oven, cookies cooling on the rack, warm banana bread fill the house with the soothing aroma of simplicity. Simple life is exactly what I need. And it's exactly what I strive for. Do you strive to live a simple life?
Hi everybody, I'm Kathi at Oak Hill Homestead. This week we're talking about simple living and what it means to each of us. I know that for everyone, simple living will look different. No two people probably have the same definition or the same vision of what a simple life is, but I think one of the things that we all have in common is that it's a less stressful life. And we will all have stress. The difference is our attitude in how we deal with stress. You can either let it rule you, or you can let it roll off your back. And today I admit I was having some trouble with that. I was letting stress get to me. I had a lot that had to be done. It was kind of a tough afternoon, but my husband and I went for a little ride and came back, and I was able to change my attitude at that point, and I was much better able to deal with things after we got home. So that was a good thing to do. Also, I appreciate margin in my life. That's something that's important to me. Margin is, the white space that's alongside, marks the end of the words, the rows of words from the edge of the page in a book. And I like a nice wide margin. If the words all ran off into the edge, it would be very chaotic. And I'm a little bit obsessive compulsive, so that would be hard for me to deal with. But I like having that margin so that I'm not constantly on the run, because I don't leave enough time in between different appointments and commitments and things that need to be done. It's also a financial margin so that we have a little bit of a cushion in case an emergency comes up. I like having enough food on hand so that if the power goes out, which it does quite often out here in the middle of, as you can tell, nowhere. If the power goes out, we have food put aside that we know that we don't need to cook. We can either open a jar and eat it, or open a can, or fix something up from scratch. So in those ways, margin is a really good thing, and it gives me time to do some of the things that I want to do. And one of the things that I really like to do is I like living a homemade life, which doesn't necessarily mean that everything is homemade. I mean, we haven't made our furniture or, you know, cars or anything like that, of course. But being able to spend my time on things that I enjoy. And to me, that's quilting and writing and so on. For you, maybe it's painting or whittling or some other kind of knitting, crocheting, some other kind of handiwork. I also like baking bread. We don't do it often because then we eat it all and we put weight on. I can make yogurt and kefir and kombucha, all sorts of various things. And those things are important to me, and that is a way of dealing with stress also. And I guess that's pretty much the definition of simple living for me. I did want to mention that this very week, is the 14th birthday of the Oak Hill Homestead blog. 14 years ago this week, I stood right here in this very spot at the top of this hill. I had just run water from up there at the spigot all the way down there to the horse pen. And I did that by taking every single hose that we owned. They all had holes in them, and I screwed them all together and ran them from up there as far as I could down there. It was about 15 feet short, but I found some pipe that the hose would fit inside of, and I used that to run the water the rest of the way. It wasn't pretty, but it worked. Of course, a lot leaked on the way down, but at least I didn't have to carry buckets down anymore, and I was so excited. And I thought, you know, somewhere there's somebody that needs encouragement that they can do this sort of thing too. And that's when the blog was born. And in celebration of that, that's why we're talking about simple living and celebrating living a simple life. We'd love to hear from you and what you think of a simple life. So if you'd like to leave a comment, I hope that you will do so. Thank you very much for joining me today, and now we'll go on with the video.
Hi, I'm Annie from 15 Acre Homestead, and today we're talking about what a simple life means to us. Well, a simple life to me is a little different than everybody else. I'm not on 15 acres anymore. I'm in a house in the city temporarily until we figure out where we'd like to buy a home or a new property. So a simple life for me has changed. To me, a simple life right now is spending time with my puppy. It's about spending time with family. It's about being able to go outside, enjoy the park, take walks. It's about not being stressed over money or time to get things done. It's about the freedom to know that I can do what I need to do, when I want to do it, and how I want to do it. A simple life for me is working at home, writing my blog posts, making these videos, being able to take time off because the grandkids came home and I just want to spend some time with them instead of working. A simple life for me is about making dinner for my children and my grandchildren and enjoying them even though my children are grown. A simple life was about Mother's Day and having all of my kids together again and to be able to spend that time with family, knowing that we're a close-knit group of people that support and love each other. It's about getting puppy kisses. It's about playing with your puppy. It's about time outside. A simple life to me is one that doesn't have the normal stress and drama, the things that you don't have to worry about. It's about enjoying life and living it to the fullest. A simple life are for things that most people take advantage of. Being able to make homemade bread, cookies for the grandkids, me too, especially chocolate chip. A simple life to me is just enjoying life. I believe we have one shot. Everybody says that you have to be grateful for what you have. And I think a simple life is about enjoying that gratitude and having gratitude towards the things that you do have instead of spending all that time on things that you don't. It's not about where you live, although I used to think so. To me, a simple life was being on the farm. It was being surrounded by trees and lakes and fields and fresh vegetables and produce. And And it was nice, and I miss it. But right now, a simple life isn't just about the things that you have at hand. It isn't just about the scenery around you. It isn't about what you own or what you do. It's about how you see things. It's about how you look at things. It's about enjoying the little things that you take for granted that maybe one day won't be there. I know since this whole coronavirus thing and we all got quarantined to homes, and of course I got moved up to here in Pennsylvania, and it's cold and it's dreary, and you know, most people are just so miserable because it's rainy and yucky out. But you know what? I'm okay with it because we're healthy, we're happy, we're together, and this has forced us to spend time together. So to me, a simple life is about enjoying what you have and what you want, not having to fret, not having to worry, and enjoying the little things, like a new puppy, and having to run outside all the time, and doing the things that you want to do. It's about enjoying a good book, watching a good movie, or just curling up in your bed in a blanket and watching Netflix on your tablet. That to me is what a simple life is about. How do you guys feel? What's your idea of a simple life?
Well, now you've seen everybody's take on a simple life. I hope that you think about it and start applying some of these things to your life. Trust me when I say this. A simple life really does bring you a deeper level of contentment, more joy, more happiness, and there's just nothing better than a slower pace of life. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.